everybody. Welcome back to Creative Visions TV. I'm your host, Karen Dahlman, and it's great to be back with you. As you can see, I have a guest with me today. You've seen her before. She's been on the show with another author named Teresa Chung, but I just love this lady. Plus, she has that cool British accent. Yes, she does. So live from the UK, all the way from the UK, we have Claire Broad. Claire, welcome back to this show.
Oh, thank you, Karen, and thank you to all your viewers. It's great to be back.
When you did the other show with Teresa, that was one of the most popular shows I think I did in a long time on the Afterlife. You guys, she's
Wow.
a great medium. You're always booked. You're always booked out like a year or something. You're highly sought after.
Yes. Yeah, and worldwide. I mean, I am in the UK, but it's worldwide where the clients find me from all over the globe these days. We are easily contactable, aren't we? Look at Zoom. It's great, isn't it?
You wouldn't even know she's across the pond, really. I mean, here I'm in Arizona, and you're over in
And
the
I'm
UK.
near London.
Yeah, London. Excellent. Well, look, I wanted to give you a cheers first. You guys, cheers to all you. Cheers to Claire.
Cheers.
And I'm drinking tea in honor of our British guest
Oh,
here.
I love that.
Moroccan mint tea, organic.
I should have had a tin. I love mint tea.
I figured you might be drinking some tea and crumpets.
Yeah,
I try to talk like them, but I can't do it. So I can't do it, you guys. I try to do British.
But I love that. That is so endearing. I can't do American either.
I was going to ask you if you could do American.
I can't. No.
Oh, okay. Well, so when I ask people that in the UK, because when I go to the UK and talk at the conventions there, I say, okay, sound like American. And you know what they all default to? Well, you guys are going to love this.
New York.
No. Whoa. Did you hear that? New York for quarter. Okay, no.
I can't do it.
They default to, howdy, y'all. Hey, y'all down yonder.
Oh, do they? Oh,
that's our Southern accent.
Yeah, I love, which I do love. I've got to be honest.
I love them all. I love accents because it just shows a little personality.
Yeah, definitely. And there's so many different accents in the UK as well.
And that Cockney, is that what it's called?
Cockney, London, yes.
I could hardly understand it. I need subtitles. You guys, I
can speak Cockney quite well.
You can do it. Do it.
Oh, all right. No, that sounds like an Australia. I can't do it on.
Yeah, you were starting to hit Australian too.
I'll do it on demand. I'll go a bit Irish and a bit.
Yeah, I get it all mixed up myself. But you know what? I had a chance to be with Claire in person. I actually know her. She's a friend of mine. Yeah. We met in person in 2018 when I came to the UK for that convention, that conference. And we had a chance to have a meal together, hang out, snap some photos. But we've been in touch ever since. So that was a lovely time meeting you. We had a good time.
Oh, I loved it. Yeah. We're kindred spirits, that's for sure.
Oh, I call her my soul sister. She's a sister. Yep. And you guys, you know what? She also likes Ouija boards.
Yep. I love, yes, I call them talking boards.
Talking boards, Ouija boards, spirit boards. So, okay, so tell us what you think about it. You know, you've got an audience here, people who enjoy the Ouija board. So what are your thoughts about it?
Well, going back, I used to be petrified of it because I'd been programmed like everybody else had. And when I was younger, I had when I was in school, friends of mine wanted to do a Ouija board in the school sheds. And they asked me if I'd go into the school sheds. They had a glass and I said no, because I just had this feeling like, oh no, I don't need to do that. Well, they all came out absolutely terrified and petrified. And I was quite happy I didn't go in. But when I went home that day, my mum, unbeknownst to me, had been to see an energy healer. And the energy healer was also a medium and said to her, I've got your dad here and he's telling me that Claire has been doing a Ouija board today. Well, I hadn't been. So when I got home, when my mum tackled me and said, why have you been involved with a Ouija board today? I was terrified because apparently the medium said to my mum, your dad's saying in spirit, don't let her get involved. She's sensitive. So from that moment on, I didn't touch a board because I just thought they're a negative thing to play with until I was about 15 years into my mediumship development,
Mhm.
and White Feather, my spirit guide, had said he wanted me to write books. I'd been told this at the age of 21. At the
Mm.
age of 40, it started coming true. And a neighbor of mine just turned up on my doorstep saying, I have no idea why I bought this for you. I just know you need it. And it was my first Ouija board. And her and I sat down terrified. Even though I'd been developing as a medium for 15 years, we sat there and it started going. A White Feather basically spelt out that I was going to channel and start writing the books. And this was a way for me to develop my channeling ability with him. And since then, oh my God, I love it. As I've got my board here.
Do you want to show that to us? Because there's the feather in it,
Yeah,
you guys. Look,
here's a feather. Yeah.
it's
To
gorgeous.
I had it made for me by a wonderful lady called Kumama in Italy. She found the wood on the beach and she handmade it all with love and put White
Oh,
Feather on there. And
and you
she's
use a
got,
glass with it? Is that you use a glass as the
I've
planchette?
got a planchette.
Oh, you have
I've
a
got a
planchette.
planchette and it matches this with a little feather on it. I should have got it out, but
That's okay. I mean,
can
yeah,
you
your
do?
planchettes could be all different things. So yours is in the shape of a feather. That's really cool.
Yes, really good. And but sometimes you can just use a penny on there,
You sure can.
and it flies around. In fact, I need a bigger board, but because it's small, it literally flies around and spells things out super quick now. It didn't, and I have to say to everybody watching,
Mhm.
the reason I felt so comfortable to use that was because I'd seen Karen's talks
Oh,
and you were just so grounded and you made
mhm.
it so accessible and you dispelled all the nonsense,
It is nonsense. We call it
Yeah,
Ouija-stitions. Yeah, it's
yeah.
nonsense. And you guys here, they know that. A lot of people here that watch this show that are part of this group here, they are good channelers themselves,
And
on
I
and off
really
the board.
I can imagine. And you know what's so funny is when I teach now, because I teach obviously this, I've taught the board to students this
I
side of the world.
know. I love it.
And I always say to them, if you're nervous, you don't think twice of picking up a pen, do you? Holding it and channeling.
Mhm.
So what's the difference between picking up a pen and communicating with spirit and writing it down and putting your fingers on there and allowing them to be guided? There's no difference. So apart from superstition
Yeah. Well,
and
I'm
fear.
I'm I'm glad you feel that way too, and if you didn't, that's okay. But I know she and I've had many talks about this, so I know you stood with it, and I love your board. And but this is what I love about Claire too, is that she's talking about her spirit guide White Feather and channeling, and that's really, I mean, that really helped pull a lot of this together for your book writing. Do you want to talk about your relationship with him a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So White Feather showed himself to me when I was a teenager, around the age of 13 to 14. He started to appear at the end of my bed. So I'd wake up out
So
of a
cool.
sleep. Yeah, and in that hypnagogic state between asleep and awake,
Mhm.
I'd come to, and I knew I was fully conscious, but I was in that state between just fully coming round. I'd open my eyes and I'd see him standing at the end of the bed,
Mm.
frighten the life out of me.
I
Um,
bet.
and yeah, I mean, he was so imposing, like you 7 foot and just standing, just looking over
Ooh.
me. Clearly, he was trying to get my attention. And then he started to make this pungent smell that was so unique. It used to travel all around the house. So where I went, if I was in my bedroom, it would just suddenly appear. And then
Wow.
if I went downstairs, it would follow me downstairs. Now, smells don't do that. If there's a smell, if there's an odor
It
somewhere, it either
stays.
hangs and
Yeah.
lingers. Yeah, it doesn't travel. And then it would just disappear as fast as that, which again, odors linger and they dissipate. They don't just disappear. And it were, this smell would appear if I was on public transport. I'd get the bus to
Oh,
college.
how embarrassing.
I know my friends all smelt it. But the thing about this was that was just the clever thing. My family all experienced it. So it couldn't be that it was my
Oh.
imagination. We turned the house upside down trying to find old cookery ingredients, things that might have, I might have left. Nothing turned up. And that piqued my interest. But I went a couple of years later, I'm going fast forward here, but I went to see a medium with a friend. And the medium picked up straight away and said, I've got your spirit guide here. He's telling me his name's Whitefeather. And she said, what is that smell? And
Oh, wow.
yeah, and that's when I just knew exactly. There's no way she could know this. She also at the same time named my grandfather in spirit and said a whole load to me. And then Whitefeather, I'm really racing through. I've written all of this in my second book, What the Dead Are Dying to Teach Us. So all this story about me, Whitefeather and I. But yes, I after that I went to a Mind Body Soul exhibition, and basically had said to Whitefeather, if you are real, I'd really like to see an image of you. I put my name down next to an artist who wasn't there. He'd gone off for lunch, but it was the old days. There was a bit of paper and a pen. I wrote down the time that I would come back. And when I came back, the artist took off a cover off of the portrait he'd done. And there was Whitefeather, same person I'd seen for years standing at the end of my bed.
What a testament.
Yeah, so that was the initial journey, but of course I still had to learn how to do mediumship. That's what led me to my teacher, and then this relationship between he and I unfolded throughout the years, and now we pretty much, I don't need the board anymore either. I can literally receive the words he's giving me as channeling.
Yeah,
and now I can sit in trance with him too, but I don't usually do that for the public. But he will literally speak first person through me now, which is an experience I'm not aware of any of it. So when that happens to me, I don't know what I've said. I know I'm speaking, but I'm completely removed. So yeah, that relationship with he and I is we've become very blended and a good team, I think.
Absolutely. Does he come through now when you're doing your readings for people as a medium? Will he come through? He does. So he helps you with your readings.
Yes. So my readings, and I've written about this in Heaven Sent, the book I've just written, and basically Whitefeather has been moving my work on. So he has told me that my remit is now expanded. So moving away from the evidence-based mediumship or pure focus on providing evidence of survival, because he's telling me that people are ready for the next level of understanding and they need the soul knowledge. So the evidence-based mediumship comes through in a reading, but he's moved me into what I'm calling soul guidance readings, because he will talk to the client. Their loved ones often come in, so do ancestors. If there's any ancestral healing, their own spirit guides will connect. We have ways of verifying information coming through, so it's still very evidential for them.
Wow.
And Whitefeather will take me into past life experiences, all into the soul connections that people have, the relationships they're having, why they're having them, and help me understand their losses and their struggles and suffering in this lifetime as to their soul assignments. What was it that they signed up for before they incarnated? Why is life so goddamn difficult, none of us get away easy, Karen. We've all got our crosses to bear, and everybody suffers in the physical form. So when I can help people understand a little bit more from the soul perspective, from that grander perspective, why have you lost a child, for instance? Is that bond, is that soul bond there eternally? What is it that your child and you have learned from that connection? They're still journeying with you in parallel. What are you now doing together? Because that bond isn't broken. And as we know, physical death ends a life. It doesn't end a relationship.
That's right.
So people's learning and soul experiences are continuing, and they are hugely important. And I'm not just talking about parents and children losses here. I'm talking about romantic soulmates, life partners, twin flames. I know we're going to talk about that.
Yes, we are.
So, all of these manner of loves that we have in our life, including the really painful ones like karmic and catalyst connections, where we quite often lose a love in this lifetime. They don't die, but some of us just really get stuck in the heartache and the pain, and we shut down. And we don't realize our true nature because of that. So I'm all about that, all about helping people understand the difference between conditional love and the unconditional love from which we come from, and helping people live to their fullest potential. So my readings are so expanded. And just to top that off, I'm doing spiritual crisis work. So I'm
Oh,
working with a fantastic energy healer called Giles Whitnell, who I've also written about in the book, and because I had a twin flame connection with him, or have a twin flame connection with him.
because
You
he's
can't.
still alive. He's
Oh yes,
yeah.
and I know. And when your twin soul, you can't be separated from. You are
Mm.
that energy. So we'll touch on all of that. But when I met him, my world turned upside down because I'd never heard of it before. I
Ah.
know lots of mediums talk about twin flames, but I had been protected from it for a good reason, and I can explain that.
Oh.
But so Giles and I now, because he's such an amazing energy healer, he's still running his own 3D world business at the moment. But when we come together, we can work with people in spiritual crisis. We can work in also haunted locations or land work where something has happened on the land that's been hugely traumatic, to bring some, healing to Gaia, and just, yeah, real sort of gritty stuff now, the real gritty stuff.
Okay, you guys, spoiler alert. In just a few moments, my new little kitty, BB, is going to be going cuckoo behind me in this video. Try to stay focused. Okay, back to the program. So,
Oh, we've
okay,
got a
so you
guest.
okay, I have yeah, so here we go. This is you guys, this is BB. This is my new cat. She's only 8 months old.
Oh,
She's curious
baby.
why I've got this pumpkin. It usually sits over there. So anyway, okay, so this is the big change that I'm hearing that you're doing. This is really fascinating to me. I know we've been communicating, there's been some shifts for you, but you're going now like not you it's always good to do evidential mediumship. That's when you get these facts and numbers and dates and people and you can validate it. But now you're taken to a level of let's look at what's not working in your life or what this relationship's about, which goes even further now. And I love this whole trauma crisis work you're doing. This is like on steroids. This is like mediumship on steroids now, right?
This is where mediumship should be, because
Agree.
we
Agree.
absolutely. I knew you were. We're soul sisters, yeah.
We're soul sisters. We're on the same wavelength. You guys, she almost wore black and white today. She sits
Yeah.
down and she goes, I almost wore, I go, well, dang, you should have got the memo, I guess. But anyway, I think what you're doing is fantastic. My background as a psychotherapist, I always thought that it was really important to look at the holism of the person on all these different levels, relationships, as well as past lives, future lives, the connections, the grief, all of that. So we have several things we want to talk about. Hello. Boy, did
Woo!
you want to say something too?
Acrobat.
I think she wants to say hi. Let's let you guys say hi. Hi, say hi. There's BB.
Oh,
Yeah,
hi,
she
baby.
just said
Oh,
hi.
she's
Okay, now you need to go
beautiful.
calm down, please. We used to be Panzer would jump in here or Bear. Bear's in the other room.
I remember Bear.
Yeah, you remember Bear the big white cat. So now it's her turn.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see how this goes, you guys. But she wanted to say hi. So, okay, we want to talk about this idea of the relationship, especially when it comes to, let me see, we talked about twin flames, life partners, soul contracts. So would you like to start there and work with that topic? Because I think, as you said, we chatted a very little bit about this before we came on, you guys, but I said, I don't want to hear la, 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 because I want to hear it when you guys hear it too, because this is important stuff. So take
Yeah.
it, Claire, where you want to go with this.
Okay, so basically, the just so people have got a little bit of context, the way that I understand and know all this information is because I've done thousands of readings now where the spirit world are educating me on the type of soul connection they have enjoyed with their loved one, so that I can understand the eternal nature of it, but also understand the challenges it represents. But White Feather didn't ask me to write Heaven Sent. That's my third book, this blue book here that just came out.
And we're going to get more, but this stuff we're talking about now is in this book.
This is it. Yes, this
Yeah.
is, we're going sort of in this area now with all talking about the soul, who you really are, your eternal nature, how you can connect with that, and then understand your soul connections. So yes, it covers things like earth family and soul family, angel babies, karmic connections, and catalyst connections. And then I also cover life partners, romantic soulmates, and then twin flame. And because every one of these soul connections are in our lives to help us understand and get in touch with our own soul essence, and to lead us back to unconditional love, from which we all came from. Source energy is what we describe as love. It's an energy, but it makes us feel an emotion that we describe as love. But that emotion is an energy, and we are from that. We are that.
Yeah, we are that.
We are that. So we cannot lose the love that we are. But when we are born into a physical reality, we, in order to know ourselves as that, separate away from that consciously. So the brain, the physical body, even the spirit form, Karen, this is where I see a lot of people get confused, because the physical body is form, but so is the spirit world a world of form, because we see spirit apparitions and bodies. Within those two worlds of form, the soul inhabits those bodies. So even in the spirit world, we can still feel separated away from divine love, which is why some spirit people don't move into the light. The light is the love that you are within. Now I know this. I know this because at the end of 2019, just going into 2020, just before the pandemic, a client walked into here where I work. His name was Giles Whitnell, the healer I was talking about earlier.
Yes.
And unfortunately, Giles had lost his nephew at the age of 18, and he was seeking a medium. And I didn't know this, but Giles had been magnetically drawn to me. He couldn't understand why there was such an energy pull to me out of all the mediums available in the world. And he couldn't get in with me because my waiting time was so long. So he gave up on the idea. And then his partner, Katie, found my details out of the blue and said, I think you need to see this lady. So Giles took that as the universe echoing his own thinking. So anyway, he turns up and he sits down in front of me here, and we have the most mind-blowing, surreal experience that just got more and more and more and more paranormal. So the first time he sat down in front of me, we were just this energy exchange, physical energy exchange happened. And he's looking at me because we're strangers, right? How do you
you've never met him before?
No, there'd been no conversation. And he's looking at me like, how come I know you? How come I know you? And I'm looking at him like, I know you inside out. And his words were, it's like I could just open up a bottle of wine, we could sit down, kick our feet up, and just, it was like that instant, the connection. It was so instantaneous that the mind was going, what the hell is going on? What's going on? You can't make this stuff up. Because of it, he came back to learn from me, because he thought, we just assumed at the time, given I didn't know anything about twin souls, that he, being a healer, needed to learn something about mediumship because we had a connection, you know.
So he's trying to explore what this connection is about, not knowing where to
Yeah.
place it, right?
And so we're kind of going, okay, we're obviously, recognizing that there is a connection, and maybe it's that you got to learn mediumship. So, but you can't make this up. On the 14th of February, 2020,
Okay.
he comes. So Valentine's Day
Valentine's Day. Yes.
Day of Love. He turns up at a workshop, training day I'm running. And then the crazy started. Our energies, because we were together longer, our energies just went, it was the same, literally the same.
Okay, so I need to understand
energy.
this more. What is it? Did you see something? You just felt it? Where'd you feel it?
I felt it.
Okay.
So first of all, I felt a whole load of crazy, Karen. Get ready for this.
Okay, I'm ready.
My heart chakra went woof. I actually felt like I was about to have a heart attack because my heart was going. He said the more he drove closer to me, that his heart was banging.
Oh my gosh.
Because it's the same soul energy. It was affecting our spirit bodies and our physical body. You are the same soul energy. I'll explain that in a minute.
Yeah, you guys, so we're talking, is this like twin flames?
This is twin flames.
Okay.
And this is how I really understand. So what I was telling everyone is how I began to really understand soul connection. And it stems from this, because I'd done all the readings, Now I was going to have first-hand experience of true soul connection that is on another level when you meet your twin soul, right? Same soul energy, just incarnate in a different body. So basically, the heart went crazy. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. It was so serious. I really thought I was going to have a heart attack. We were in a state of euphoria because it was totally unconditional, blissful love, like divine love. I had a Kundalini awakening.
What?
Yeah. Waves of energy.
Excuse me, you guys. Hold on a second. My cat right now is trying to eat my hair. Okay, you've got to stop.
We can't have that.
I'm like, okay, look at this. Oh, that hurts, baby. Watch this. She's behind me. Look at her. Yeah, okay, we gotta stop this.
She's like, but I want attention.
Oh gosh, you guys, I am so sorry. Okay.
No,
because I am right. Look at her. Okay, this is not a twin flame right now moment. Okay.
No. This is a soulmate. Your first soulmate moment.
Okay. Let's get back to this. You said you had a Kundalini experience. You guys, that's your base chakras. Everything's opening up, and I mean,
I actually thought Kundalini was just a nice new age term. I did. That's what I thought. New age term for sort of, visualizing with meditation, pulling the light up. Well, was I wrong? I mean, I've never experienced anything like it in my life as that energy, because as our energy is connected, there's so much to cover on this, but because we are totally the same energy.
Yeah, you're like split. Is it like souls being split?
Yeah, so basically, white feathers. I channeled this information. I'm hopping all over the place. I'm so sorry, what viewers.
Oh God, no! This is how I like to do it. I do hop.
Okay. Oh, good. Too. Okay.
And this is why we get along great.
Yeah. Well, it'll just go blah, and people can make sense of it.
Sorry, guys. She's eating my hair again. No beeps.
Because it was such a paranormal experience, White Feather was really keen to make sure I understood what was going on, because it was so important to the work I was going to be doing going forward. So he was reaching out to mediums who didn't know what was going on with Giles and I, because remember, this is the 14th of Feb 2020. In the UK, we went into lockdown on the 23rd of March. So Giles and I could not meet, could not be anywhere near each other. And as this was unfolding over the weeks, it was just happening to us, miles away from each other, not even able to do anything in the same space. We were having... So the Kundalini experience, I had energy just tearing through my body for months. I felt like I was burning as it cleared and cleansed everything, because basically as the soul energy comes together, our two spirit bodies came totally online. Giles could see Kundalini coming out of his hands because he was the healer. Of course, it went straight up to my mediumship. For him, it was coming out of his hands. He was seeing violet flame literally coming out of his hands. He could see it wisping. Other people could see it wisping out of his hands. For me, I felt like I was literally walking in the spirit world. I could see them, hear them. I was desperately trying to ground.
Okay.
I've been working for 25 years as a medium, and I literally felt I was on the other side, and I was in this blissful state of love for about a year that was so unsustainable for me. I was desperate in a way to get down. I mean, now I miss it, but I was desperate to live a normal life because it was challenging everything I knew about love in this world, even the way I'd parented, because I realized that I hadn't loved my children as well as I should have done, because I'd been programming them in this world to be able to fit in, to do well, to achieve. So I'd put conditions and boundaries. This is the way you need to behave. This is the way you need to be. This is your politeness. And I was living with the fact that I'd experienced what the Greeks called agape love, which is Christ love.
Agape love, yes.
So I was just in that. Now, at first, I attributed it. This is where a lot of people go wrong when they meet a twin soul. I thought that Giles had sparked that in me. I didn't understand. So White Feather was just getting these messages through all the time, letting us know. And mediums were contacting me from the pandemic who couldn't be anywhere near me, saying, do you know who you've just met? Do you understand the significance? I've got your spirit guide here. He's trying to help you understand what's going on. And thank God, because I would never have been able to. And also, God, it's so sorry, it's coming out so fast. But
I'm you guys amazed or what? This is crazy.
But this is true twin soul. This is what happens when you meet a twin soul, and there's so much crap out there. I've just got to dispel the crap.
Oh, keep going, because I gotta tell you, I don't think I've ever met a twin soul, because I don't have those experiences.
No, but we're all twin souls. We're all twin souls. I'm going to explain it in a minute. So they're not special.
How good this gets.
Well, twin souls on this planet are not special. We are all twin souled. Okay.
Okay.
But when Giles and I met, it sparked another thing. It sparked in us was recollection and remembrance of our previous lifetimes together. And also I started to understand without any doubt at all, because I could see all these past lifetimes and he was getting the same experiences, that I myself am eternal. All this time I'd been doing readings for people, connecting with spirit people. It was slightly removed from me. Even though I knew life went on, I hadn't experienced myself as that eternal intelligence and unconditional love. And for the first time ever, I was like, my God, I am literally indestructible. I am eternal, and I am soul stuff incarnate in this body. And that's just the beginning. There was a push-pull between Giles and I that we had to balance. There was magnetism of energy, because it was like a gravitational pull. It was so difficult to manage this connection.
Wow.
And most people, it's only because of the maturity of both of us and the fact that White Feather could explain everything, that we somehow managed to navigate, get everybody in our lives connected with each other, try and build trust with everybody, because he's obviously a male, he's 12 years younger than me. But in this world, this is another thing, how the programming is how men and women can't be in a platonic relationship and it not be something more. They can,
yes, I have experienced that for sure. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. They can. And he feels like family. The twin soul connection and romantic soulmates, they make you feel like you're home. The reason for that is because they tap you into you, where you come from, your divine spark, your source. So there is an immediate sense of, I can put my life in your hands because you are life, the same life as I am. So White Feather explained to me, just going back to what you were saying earlier, that the soul births from source as a strand of unique frequency.
Yep.
that leaves the oneness, the unity of the light. And as he said that it was, he described it as an ovoid with yin yang parts that were totally complementary. And as we entered into the physical form of spirit reality and physical reality, in order to have any kind of experience, the soul must have an equal opposing force. So it separates out. So you have a mirror counterpart. And he described it to me like hot and cold equals temperature. You and your divine twin equal soul. And so if you look at gravity, you've got anti-gravity. If you look at protons, you've got neurons. If you've got quarks and mirror quarks, you've got up and down. Everything to take any form at all in a world separate from unity of source has to have its equal opposite, its mirror. So that we birthed away from source, separated out, when on our individual lifetimes, and over time, as you start to ascend in consciousness, we started, obviously, as being the same soul stuff, I imagine, come closer and closer to wanting the same thing. So what's so trippy is he and I can look at our lives and see that we parallel. So it is so trippy.
Is he English too? Does he live in the UK?
He is, but that's unusual, because most twin souls, the reason you can recognize is they might not have anything, people think twin flame is a romantic relationship.
Right, that's what you always hear.
This has got to go. That is so erroneous. It's not funny.
You heard it here first. You heard it here.
Yeah, I mean, because when people really have a twin soul connection, they're put in with divine Christ conscious love, pure love, crystalline love. Okay, it blows their socks off, because they've not had it here, and then people mix that up and say that. So a lot of people will then try and put that into our paradigm of a romantic relationship if they're two heterosexual people of opposite sex, but your twin flame can be massive age gaps. Normally they are. It could be 30, 40 years between you. Cultural differences, language differences, because the soul's incarnated into different places. And some people just literally exchange an email and it sparks the whole crazy. Most twin souls have not had an earthly relationship. It's a spiritual connection. And they talk about twins that come into unity. That's when when the pair of you manage to get to grips with the immense power that is flowing between you, because we're talking about soul stuff here. It's that powerful, and you balance it, then you can be in unity. But if you're going to mix it up with thinking that you'll kind of have some kind of amazing romance with the best sex you've ever had in your life, and this is what I hear being touted everywhere, and I've met my twin flame and it's so kitsch, and this is a sacred, divine this is how consciousness manifests in the universe. It's actually, I think, can be scientifically studied, because you have such crazy paranormal experiences that
with this meeting, with this connection, once you have that connection,
and we're all twin soul, all of us.
We all are. But do we all end up meeting somebody and have an experience like you had?
When you do, you will have these are the markers that happen. Most people say they feel like home. They'll have a Kundalini awakening. There'll be all sorts. But
the way you describe it is a lot more demonstrative than that. I mean, I felt
it's destructive.
It's yours is very demonstrative. It's huge. It sounds like
it's huge. You do not need to question. You will be looking online, everything, and what is happening to me? What is happening?
You'll be Googling. Okay, so what happens if somebody does meet somebody like you did, and there was also a romantic connection on top of that?
Well, that can happen, because if you've chosen in this lifetime that it's best to have that experience, that is what you'll get. But most twin souls can't manage, so they might have the most incredible romantic exchange between them because of the divine love, and then it just goes to hell because most of us have been conditioned. We have only learned conditional love, not
Correct.
pure. I mean, pure unconditional love of the guides, as you'll know,
Oh,
is no expectation, no need, no wants, just pure love.
I
And
can
you're
tell you,
perfect
I know
as
what
you are.
that is when I channel the guides, either on the board or off the board. It's that pure love flowing through me. I've never felt anything like it ever. Unconditional. That's how I know it's them. Now, I wanted to say something. You brought up a great, really important point, and you talked about this concept of this unconditional love is really yourself connecting back with the divine within yourself, the pure light within. And I point up because I think of the divine everywhere around us. But you know, Sufi, the famous Turkish poet, Rumi,
Rumi.
the Sufi Turkish poet. He was fantastic. He would talk about his love, his beloved, and meet my beloved in the garden. He wasn't talking about another woman or a man.
No.
He was talking about his connection with the divine. So what I'm hearing you say is that meeting this gentleman and for him as well, and your experiences since then has been putting you both in touch with the divine.
Exactly. That's why you meet your twin soul. So
So
twin
important to
soul
know that.
and twin flame is all about a spiritual awakening. And that's why most people, when they meet a twin soul, twin flame, their life falls apart because they start to look at everything. It leaves no stone unturned. You start to see where you don't love yourself.
Ah, got it.
Your twin will mirror back to you. They are the complete polar opposite to you. So like, for instance, Giles is an energy healer. I'm a medium. He's a really, strapping guy covered in tattoos. I was like almost like a librarian to him. He's quite rock and roll. I'm quite, quite straight laced. You know, but the weird thing
Polar
is
opposites, duality. Yeah.
but totally complementary.
Uh,
Totally
well, that's yin
complementary.
yang. That's the whole concept of that. And we're supposed to find that balance within ourselves because we are in a world of dualism and
That's it.
polarities. That's how we look, that we need contrast to learn.
And that's the thing.
Much
It looks totally. And this is why we've got to get this out there, because this is people understanding what they're here for. The whole purpose is so that you come into unity within yourself and understand that you are divine, unconditional love. So all of the different soul connections that I write about in Heaven Sent are showing us when we have a painful experience, how we have fallen away, or we're still seeing ourselves as separate from the unity and oneness of everything. Like you said, it's all around us. Your twin flame puts you back in touch with that. And you then are really doing the work. It's all about the ascension back into divinity. It's hard work because it's going to make your life challenge you in ways that you will never have thought. So there's one of the defining keys of factors of a twin soul is that you will have a dark night of the soul, probably many.
Dark night of the soul, absolutely. Boy,
You will see your shadow self full on, otherwise you cannot reach the light. So you've got to start working through all of that.
That is ascension. Ascension's not this beautiful kumbaya. It is that ascension's looking at yourself and seeing these things. I like the way you're exploring this, and this is all in this book, you guys. Would you hold that book up for us again to the screen? I'd like to see this.
Sure.
Heaven Sent. You guys, it just came out, which was July. It came out.
It came out in the UK in July. It just came out in October in the US.
See, and here we are. This is why we're talking about it here. Happy Halloween, guys. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah, happy Halloween. So the subtitle is that is Soul Lessons from the Afterlife, what you're talking about here. And so you really get into the relationships, like you just mentioned, these different types of contracts.
So I help people understand the types of relationships they've had in their lives, the key markers of them. And so so for instance, a lot of people get confused between life partner and romantic soulmate. And I keep seeing with people that come to me for readings, a lot of people aren't happy in their relationships.
Oh, yeah.
Right? because they're loving conditionally
Mhm.
and they don't want to hear they are, but they are. It's like, if you don't do what I want, if you don't do it in the way I want, if you don't behave in the way I want,
Correct.
if you're not meeting my needs, if you know, but I see people say to me things like, I haven't met my soulmate, you know,
Yep.
and how do people meet their soulmate? I want to magnetize my soulmate. And I'm like, but you've got a life partner there. Um, who actually is the best lesson you could even have, because that's what you came here for, not a romantic soulmate. So, you know, for instance, life partners are fabulous. They give us total independence. So if you are, say, a surgeon, for example, and you have got a demanding job, or you came in to do a mission and be in service to others in the medical profession, meeting a romantic soulmate, because soulmates are the ones that actually embody two souls as one. So when
Mm.
romantic soulmates come together, they are two souls that behave like one. So they do everything together. They're learning oneness. So they do everything together. They often work together. They live, eat, sleep, breathe together, you know, and then they quite often die. But, you know,
Right around. Yeah.
around the same time, because they just can't be here. Well, for some people, that'd be stifling. So the life partner comes along and loves you unconditionally, and you two are learning about how to live with an opposite to you. And because you're opposites attract, as we've heard, this is the life partner dynamic. You quite often look at them and think, what was it I found attractive in you? How come we can't always vibe well together? But because you are so different, you give each other independence and freedom. And life partners are there for life. They, even when the chips are down, they don't walk away.
Mhm.
So a lot of us have these great relationships, but because it's not like what we see in Hollywood,
You're
and
right.
because we're not understanding that soul connection is the divine connection, giving you exactly what you need for what you came to achieve, we look at them and we start criticizing them instead of seeing them for the beauty that's in them. And loads of us have life partner dynamics. Not many of us have romantic soulmate connections, which is why we're all watching Hollywood, looking at it thinking, oh, you know, basically what people are saying is, I want to meet someone who makes me the center of their universe and adores me.
Right.
And what I'm trying to say to people is, you do that to you. A real loving relationship is, I will love me, take care of my needs, and do what I need to do for you. And you love you, take care of all your needs, heal your wounds for you, so that I benefit. And then we can love each other as whole beings together as one in
Yeah,
unity.
it's not this 50-50, it's 100 and 100.
Absolutely.
You just
And
go,
so
I'll
this
meet you
is why most
50-50.
people are getting it wrong, aren't they?
Yeah.
Most people are, because I just see people walking around either miserable in love, trying to find love, having got rid of love, or not, you know. Um, I know it sounds very, you know, dire in a way. I'd love to say everybody's in really happy relationships, but we're all walking each other home, as Ram Dass said. We're not supposed to be in relationships
Interesting.
that just are really plain sailing. You know, we're
Okay.
helping each other.
Okay, so this is what I gotta go back to Giles, okay? Where are the two of you now? How did you rectify, or how are you working with this dynamic? Because Claire has her own family.
Yeah,
Claire's a husband and kids.
I
He's
do.
got a girlfriend, right?
Yeah, he's very
And it's
happily
not like you guys
single.
are going, oh, this is romantic, let's get together. Because something else had happened here. And that's what you're trying to tell us here.
I'm
So where
trying
are
to
you guys
help
with it now? Where's your families with it? Where are your significant others with this?
completely. So Giles has a partner called Katie. They are in a very happy relationship. Like I said, he's 12 years younger than me, so I would imagine that they'll be doing the whole family thing down the line. Um, whereas, yes, obviously, I am married. I have two children. So Giles and I were, because Whitefeather had been getting through to me all of this information, and we could understand this from the beginning, because it was so important and so sacred that it didn't, none of us wanted it desecrated. Giles and I made sure, because we love our partners and our kids and our family, that we were totally transparent and open. Now, that of her at the beginning. I don't know. It can't be easy, can it, to hear that two people are
No.
having that kind of connection? But we were totally transparent. This is not romantic. I've met somebody that I really feel is family to me, and I know is really important, and I'm going to be working with in the future. Both of us told everybody, we introduced each other to all our families, because
Mhm.
somebody having an affair does it, you know, under the rug kind of thing. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? They're
Right.
hiding everything.
This was not an
Um,
affair, what we're saying. This
this
is
is
not an
not an
affair.
affair. This is
Yeah.
a spiritual connection. Um, so we just had to be very, very brave, stand our ground. You know, we're not doing anything wrong. We've both met somebody that we adore, but it's not going to interfere with our relationships. It's completely different to the marriages and partnerships that we're in. There's no romance. And we've managed to navigate it. I'm not going to say it's always been easy, because no one understands it. I mean, you know, we were all trying to get to grips with it, but we are all loved, we are all connected, and we have done everything that we can to make sure everyone feels safe and secure. And I have a great relationship with Katie. Martin, my husband, knows Giles. We've all been out for meals together now.
Oh, neat.
We've celebrated Christmas. You know, families, parents, everybody, we've all met. My kids adore him. So, you know, it doesn't have to be what you'll see online is that everybody messes up these connections. And I got to also, something else I got to dispel.
Mm.
It doesn't have to be toxic. People talk about twin flame relationships as toxic. They're not. They're unconditional love. So sometimes the most loving thing to do, if you can't manage this, is to separate. Because
Mm. Mhm.
if you can't manage the energy, and if you're still doing a lot of inner work, because it will shine a light on everything you need to do within you,
Wow.
then sometimes you've got to go your ways and do that. And twins love each other enough to give each other that space. It isn't a I need you, I own you, don't go anywhere else. That is not
Yeah.
love. Love is
Clutchy,
freedom.
possessive. Okay, so
Yeah.
um it, this is super fascinating. I love having these kind of conversations, and you're brilliant with explaining this and what you're sharing with us. So what about, obviously yours was male female, those two vibes coming together. It could be female female male male.
Female, female.
It could be
I
many
shared
different
lots of
ways.
so in Heaven Sent, I share lots of practical tips. Like, this is how you recognize, these are the markers of each connection. This is how
Ah,
you recognize them. And then I also share calls to actions. You know, if you want to meet a soulmate, this is what you could do. If you want to heal a catalyst connection, you can do this, these exercises. Um, you know, so God, what did you just say last? I was just gone, my brain's gone blank. Why was I saying that?
oh, well, okay. So I was talking about, it could be with any kind of
Oh, that's right. Sorry,
people,
sorry.
different
Sorry,
people.
Karen.
Yeah, no
So in the
worries.
book, I share lots of true life stories so people can see the examples of what other people have written to me, telling me
Ah,
of their stories.
okay.
And I have worked with, because Giles and I can also coach people now that have soul connection, any type of soul
Oh,
connection.
neat.
Um, but so to help them recognize it, understand it, and heal from it, basically. But it can be twin souls, like I said earlier, can be different age gaps, different cultures, female and female heterosexual, or one homosexual, one heterosexual. You know, they
Yeah.
really challenge these bonds, because the soul is love. It doesn't care about any of that. Doesn't care about your age.
No,
It
it's
doesn't care
it's
about your
not about,
gender.
yeah, it has nothing to do with gender at all at this point, sex or anything. It's just about what you love. So, okay,
Yeah.
how does that differ now? Because you did give the whole demonstrative part, the Kundalini rise and the heart palpitations, all this stuff you experience physically. What's the difference with that and meeting somebody you just really, really jive with? You may not have all those experiences, but you're like, I want to see that person more. I've had that with men and women. Where go, oh my God, we're just connecting so well, and then it doesn't always last forever, but how do people know the difference between just that's a solid strong connection too? How do you know the
Yes,
difference
it
between?
is. because we're all souls. So and the closest that, because we're all energy, the closer we vibrate together energetically, the more harmonious it's going to feel, the more loving and great it's going to feel. And it's going to literally, you know, you will become, so the body loves this stuff. It releases all
Oh
the
my God, it does.
I write about love addiction and everything in here because I see
Oh.
people really suffering with limerence and love addiction. Twin souls is never limericks. It's so divine. It's beyond that. And it doesn't ever wane. When you, because it's you. It's you. When you meet other people, like you just said, you'll have a real intense experience at the beginning. You will experience divine love even sometimes. I mean, or as close as you can get to it, certainly with a romantic soulmate or soulmates, like you're saying, when you meet a soulmate or soul family, you're vibing so well together.
Or a soul sister.
It's soul sisters, exactly.
Yeah,
Is you
soul
vibe
sisters.
together. It's so uplifting.
It is.
Then you know you've met another soul who is kindred, who's on your same frequency and is giving you that lovely experience of unity, connectedness, and all of that. All I can say to you is twin soul is on speed. It's, you know, it literally is, I explained it like being hit by Zeus and lightning bolt. It will do it will, the paranormal crazy that unfolds. I haven't even touched on everything. It's so different. Whereas romantic soulmates, for instance, they look at each other for the first time and they go, oh, there you are.
Yeah.
And they recognize within themselves, I've been waiting for you. You know, that's who I've come to partner with in this lifetime. You know, karmic connections where we've lived lifetimes before, as you meet, you can have a sense of familiarity, really get it. You feel like you're just picking up from where you left off. It's just easy. And then at some point, the red flags happen. And you start to get irritated or annoyed, or you start to, your frequency's not aligned, you even may just go off, but you've learned something that's either been challenging, painful, or just, even if it's just that you were irritated by something, there's been something there. The level of love and connection and safety doesn't last. So you move in and out of each other's lives. It's a level of, I would say, intensity with the type of love and the type of experiences you have, but they all have markers, really. But they're all soul connections. So what I'm trying to get across to people is twin soul is not any better than romantic soulmate, which is no better than life partner, which is no better than catalyst or karmic or soul family or earth family, because every single connection is divine. It's acting like a mirror to show you, this is what you came to learn, this is what you haven't mastered within you yet, and the more difficult, the more growth. And every connection is trying to lead you back, so you recognize your eternal soul self and the divinity that you are. You are it. You can't lose love. You are love. You lose sight of who you are. We have amnesia. We separate away because the ego and the brain filters out much of our experience. But you are that love. And Whitefeather said to me that he was trying to help, through the teaching that we'll bring, people that are ready for conscious relationships, for sacred connections, to meet and have more of a type of experience of that unity, that connectedness, that oneness as they meet, because they know how to love at a different level, and that it's in their interest to learn how to love at a different level of purity of soul. And the spirit world are trying to bring these connections in, because our planet is in trouble.
Yeah, slightly, huh?
Yeah.
Are you saying these connections are formed in between lives? Are you saying it's formed when you're in spirit? Can you talk about that a little bit? I think it's like we made these contracts with each other and invited them in to hook up with them and to have some hardships so we can grow. But would you talk about that, what you've learned?
Sure. So I can only speak from what I see during readings. I always speak what I
Yes.
know. I don't have all the answers. This universe is so complex. It's mind blowing. Every time I think I've grasped something, again, another layer given to me,
Isn't that true? It's in layers. I get it.
Yeah, and I think White Feather gives it to me in simplicity. But so anything that you hear, you can challenge, But basically, it seems White Feather showed me, and I write about this too. He showed me my entrance into this body.
Ah,
I was aware that, first of all, Giles and he showed me a scene in the spirit world where Giles and I had been standing together with guides being prepared for our entry into this world, coming with the understanding that at the right time we would connect and that we would be doing spiritual work together. But then he showed me my point of entry in, and I was a light that was traveling faster than speed towards what I knew was my physical body. And I just knew that I had to make my point of entry, is what I called it, my point of entry. And if I missed my point of entry, if I didn't focus totally on getting in there, somebody else would be allowed that human body. And
interesting.
I knew I would have then let down the soul group that I was coming in with, because they were waiting for me. So it seems that I don't know if we sit down around a table and have a contract, but it's almost like the soul
Sorry,
energy.
Claire. Sorry,
That's
guys.
all right. Don't
All
worry,
right,
I'm just chatting.
I am so sorry. Okay, you can't jump in my hair anymore. We can do it later.
I just want to cuddle.
I know she, whatever you are, you're the cutest thing in the world. So anyway, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Next interview I do, you guys, I'm gonna have to put my cat outside and shut the door. I thought, she was gonna be cool sleeping in the chair. Sorry.
Oh, she's excited.
You know what? She's loving this. I'm so focused. I'm like taking this in that I think she's playing off the energy. Oh my God, she's going.
I think she is. Yeah.
Okay.
I've lost what I was saying now.
I am so sorry.
Don't worry.
She's back. You guys, she's back here. There's a zipper in the back of this top, and she's flipping it, and she's
pulling it down.
and she's
But
eating my hair, and everything she could do to
get your attention.
Annoy me.
She wants you. She wants your undivided, unconditional.
And we'll do that later. Okay, we've done that a lot today already. You just need to stop for a second because this is important stuff. This is human. We're humanizing here. We're humans. We got to talk about these things.
Yeah, but actually, Karen, animals.
I wanted to ask you about that. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Because see, she.
I wanted to talk about the animals. I was with you.
Most people will tell me in life that they have learned unconditional love either from having children or from having animals.
I have.
Yeah. And most people will say that the only people they ever loved were their furry friends. They come in as soulmates, and animals live in the spirit dimensions too. They are conscious sentient beings, and they do journey with us, it seems, through different lifetimes too.
They do.
So when you get an animal that recognizes you and chooses you, you know that there's a soulmate connection there. So yeah, and unconditional love sometimes is best learned from the animal kingdom.
I agree. People say, well, like, I'll talk about that a lot with animals because I just wrote a book, When Cats Had Wings, that my cat Jack wrote with me. And I talk about the unconditional love there. And some people say, well, I don't have a pet. And I go, well, then you get it. You can learn it from people. It's like if you have one or the other, you have opportunities, whether you're in a romantic relationship or you got a cat chewing your hair, you have all the opportunities to learn these lessons. Now, BB, you really got to stop this.
And actually, do you know what? That's a really valid point. Oh, bless her. I write in Heaven Sent about the fact that it doesn't matter.
I'm sorry, she's Velcro now. Look at this. Hi.
Oh,
you need to go down here. There you go. Go see Bear. Go find Bear. By the way, Bear found me. Bear came to my door. Came in a period of 2 months, and I finally let him in. He said, "I was waiting when you're going to let me in. It's about time," because he talked to me on the board, and he was like, "Yeah, I chose you."
Yeah, well, cats often do that, don't they?
They do. Cats often do that. Yeah.
But I was right. I have written in Heaven Sent, because you touched on something really important there. For the people that don't have romantic
Yes,
partners,
talk about that,
or
please.
or even animals, some of us come in because we have to learn that we are all we need. That unconditional love. You may not come in needing a partner, and you're
Nor do
spending
you
your
need
life.
to have a partner to
You
do
don't,
this
yeah,
work.
you spend in your life looking outside of yourself for something that you think you are lacking, and then you are
Bingo.
suffering. You know, the happiest
Bingo.
relationships that will be in this world are the ones, like I said, where you are whole, they are whole, you come together. Love is freedom.
Ah, yes, this is so critical. When I do my readings, a lot of questions I have is about the soulmates, the relationships, and it's never about my relationship with myself. I'm like,
No,
oh,
and
that's the
that's why
guide's message too, is to honor
it
thyself because you're
totally.
honoring the divine. You're honoring who you really are.
That's what you're up to here. And when the guides come close, you know, and they're emulating, or, you know, just pouring that unconditional love on you, you know, you
Mm.
can come to tears. It's so
Oh,
pure.
it is.
You realize that you got this work to do to get to
Mhm.
where they're at.
Mm.
So, you know, it's so important. This is not this is not about Mills and Boone, Hollywood. You know, talk to somebody who's lost a child, for instance, or a soulmate who they love so deeply. It wrenches their heart. They
Mhm.
have what's known as core wound pain, where the spirit body literally is unplugged. Soul from soul gets unplugged. It's painful. People will talk about the physical pain they experience when a loved one dies. This is soul healing we're up to. This is the crux of everything. We are the universe experiencing itself. This is not about crappy, you know, romantic notions, which I'm
Easy.
sorry are just fantasies, you know, lovely fantasies. And if you can find someone to share it with, happy days, you know, but that's an idea in your head. You are unconditional soul energy. It is so powerful, and we don't know it. We don't know what the that we are creating our reality and creating the universe, being co-creator. We don't. We talk about it. It's lip service. Sorry.
It's a
We
lot
have
more than what you hear in like the movie The Secret. It's that's a place to start. That's 101,
completely.
but
Yeah.
it's so much deeper. So I you touched on something really important, I think, to people that may be watching this. We all go through grief at some time of somebody because it what's given in life is going to be born, then you're going to die. That's given in life. It depend
Yeah.
on, there's many variables of doing those things. So
Yeah.
explain to me or to the audience, if somebody's really dealing with some heavy duty grief of this gut wrenching, ripped apart umbilical cord thing you talked about of each other, of losing somebody, how can they help themselves? What can they do?
Okay. So there are exercises in the book, but I try to help people understand how to start to connect with their own soul,
Hmm.
because those soul bonds that are formed when two souls come together and you energetically connect, those ties cannot be severed. You cannot be separated once love has brought two soul energies together. There are literally strands, you know, as you think about a loved one in the spirit world. We know they hear our thoughts, right? We do readings, they come through all the
Oh
time and
yeah.
say what we've been thinking about, and vice versa. We send love almost like text messages. So I
Mhm.
try to help people understand that that relationship now has just moved on to a different footing. And if you can
Yes.
get in touch with your soul self by meditating, by getting in touch with the heart, you can start to feel the connection of those loved ones around you. They'll be around you.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely. And I know people who actually I still continue that relationship where they have conversations. They may even lay
totally.
down in bed together, hug each other, and they can feel it.
They can feel it, exactly. Because where there's a true soul bond, where it hasn't been equally severed because people haven't, you know, really bonded. But those who have got soul connections, this love is so powerful. It's not about love of attraction of the physical body
No.
or even someone's mind. We're talking energy, bonds. That is so powerful. It cannot be broken. So I try to help people understand how they can now have a relationship with themselves first, unconditionally, and then learn that their loved ones are still there. But for a time, we are separated. We miss our loved ones. They miss us, you know. Even though they can see us, we are still separated by that physical body. Our brain is filtering out much of our reality. So this is not about trying to get rid of grief, because grief to me is love.
Yes.
So we're not trying to, resist the pain. We have to allow the pain and accept that that's a part of the healing process. The physical body literally feels on it the trauma. So we have to acknowledge that, feel that, allow that. But at the same time, we can also be developing our connection with source and learning to recognize the signs, to feel the presence of our loved ones when they're in spirit around us, and that we will see them again.
Yeah.
We will. Every one of us is on this planet for a blink of an eye. So, with this knowledge and with the spirit guides around us getting through this important knowledge, I have suffered greatly. I understand people's suffering. There will be people watching this that say, it's all well and good you saying that, but I'm stuck in this. It's agony. It's painful.
Yeah.
I can't see the wood for the trees. I'm depressed. I don't want to get up in the morning. It's so tiring. I'm fatigued. All these things that happen to the physical body because the soul and the spirit is in so much trauma. It's lost. It's feeling that loss. When we can understand that actually at the energy level, we are not separated, we can begin to heal the physical body and the spiritual body so that we can find the higher emotions and then tune in with spirit again and feel them there. You will be together again. You are together now. You can never be separated. And ultimately, when you know yourself to be eternal, divine love, it's no longer painful. I keep trying to get across to people, love doesn't hurt. It's the fear that hurts.
Yeah. And fear is the opposite of love, not hate. It's fear and love. They're the opposites. Okay. So this is all in the book, you guys. You're going to have to go out and get it. It just hit the scene this month. Okay. In the United States. And I know you guys in the UK can already get it. So where should they get your book? Where should they go find it? Any bookstore, Amazon? Where is it at?
Yeah, it's on Amazon, in all good bookstores. Even you can just go in and ask for it to be ordered in for you. Or come and find me at my website, www.clairebroad.com.
Can people
and this
sign
is
up
just
for
the tip of the iceberg that we've talked about.
Oh, I know there's so much more. But okay, so can people sign up for readings with you? And what's the wait list like? Because I know it's usually like a year.
Yes. Well, unfortunately, this year I've had poor health. I've had my own suffering to master.
Talk about your dark night of the soul.
I had a real dark night. I've had several. I had a dark night of the soul when I met Giles, and then I had another one because clearly I hadn't had enough of them.
Yeah, so it's not like you just get one and done. It's not like that.
No, that's where people get that wrong. Yeah, no, I had a real serious health issue this year. So my all my readings got cancelled this year, but I'm usually about 18 months ahead of myself in bookings. So I just ask everybody to follow me on social media, on YouTube and Rumble or Instagram. Okay. And I will release videos letting people know when the next batches are released. But as I say, I'm kind of being repositioned anyway as well. With the soul readings, I'm trying to help people understand that it's in their interests not to just look for an evidence-based reading. We dictate to the spirit world what we want, and they have an intelligence far greater. So we're saying, I want a name and I want this and I want that and I want a code, or I won't believe you're there. Yes. That's lifting your medium. Let them tell you what you need.
Absolutely. Those are some of the best readings, and people get the information they want when they say, give me a general reading, because then I could really not be so I'll go focus if I have to, but then the guides come through, spirit flows through me, and I just in the messenger. So I get what you're saying. You guys reach out to her, follow her in social media. I'll put over links below, and
Thank
also a
you.
link on Amazon to her books. And I'll also put a link to the other video when she was here with us before with Teresa Chum,
Yeah.
and that was a fun interview. It was so insightful. So any last words you'd like to say to the audience as a parting gift of wisdom?
Oh. Well, first of all, I just want to thank them if they're still with me with all this deep information I'm giving. But really, it's that you are incredible. I start the book by saying, you are awesome. And that's a word that is so overused these days. But I really mean awesome, awe-inspiring, magnificent. Are you living to that potential? If you're not, then you haven't yet aligned with your soul. And you know, myself included, I'm not a guru. I've just had these experiences, but I want people to understand just how incredible they are.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I hope you all enjoyed that. Remember what Claire just said about find your connection to the divine, meet right there. And I'm going to say, find the divine light within and love it and love it. So thank you again,
Oh.
Claire. Appreciate you being here. Goodbye, everybody. Until next time, this is Creative Visions TV, and I'm still Karen Dahlman. See you again later. Bye-bye.